Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. I'm on to have a play with the Whichcraft Do You Do freebie for the month of July. So there's 2 pages as usual, and these are do-it-yourself collage strips. So if you want to have a go with these, you can grab the files from the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group, and this month Whichcraft Do You Do already have this on their website as well as a freebie. So they're both linked down below. But we'd love you to jump onto the Facebook group and show us what you've made. That would be awesome. So we're going to have a bit of fun with this. Kerry's already put out a video where she's made a few things with it. So do go check that out and leave a like and a comment. She'd absolutely love that. I also found some. I was going to use one of my shopping bags, but this is sitting on top of my paper stack, gathering dust. It's very much like the same paper, craft paper, that you'd make a shopping bag out of anyway, and I have to get using some of my stash up that's just sitting around. So we're going to use that. Thought that would be nice, something a bit different to put on the back. It's full of dust. So what I'll do is get cutting, which I've already started with, and we'll see what we can make with these. So I've cut out these strips from the 1 page of the kit, and I'm going to stick one of these down on my craft paper, and I'm leaving just a millimetre or so border around. So I'm cutting my paper down a bit so it fits onto my little scoreboard, and I want to fold my paper in half. So what I'll do is score down the other side of the digital that we stuck on, leaving that millimetre or so border. That way I can fold it neatly. So it's going to be a bookmark, but it'll be one that has writing space on the inside there, so we can open it up. So I'm just trimming the excess off now so that the back is the same size as my front. Then I can stick the other piece that I've chosen to the back. I was going to make this piece the front because it's so beautiful, but when I found other pieces that I wanted to use, they fit better on the other side, so this will be my back. Don't mind my buff head. So I ink around the outside and the inside. I'm using vintage photo for these projects. So I've got that beautiful strip, and I think that'll go nice on the front, and I decide that I want to make that into a little belly band on the front of my bookmark. So I want to stick that down to my craft paper as well, and again I'll leave about a millimetre border around it. They're such fun digitals to play with. So many different ways that you can use all the bits and pieces. So again, I just ink around the edge of that. I inked around the digital piece, and then I ink around it again on the craft card stock edges. So before I put my belly band on the front, I want to make a little cluster to put on top of it. So I'm just finding the decorative pieces that I want to use. And then for a bit of contrast, I thought I would rip some of the craft cardstock out to layer my cluster onto. Don't want too much hanging over the edge of my bookmark since we're opening it up and that, so I thought I would just rip it down a bit more. So I grabbed out all my little scrap lace bin. I won't say all my scrap laces. I do have a lot more, but these are my tiny scraps. I have so many laces, but every time I need some, I tend to look through this first. It's ridiculous. So I go through and just pull out a couple of bits that I think may go with my projects. And then of course I have to try them all to see which one I like the most, which is this light yellow one that I've got. I want to layer my words on it a bit. So just trying to figure out my placement. I have to grunge the words up. They're a bit white for my liking. So I'm just sticking my little picture to my lace there. Now it looks like the clock where I want to place it, it'll be hanging off a bit. And again, I don't want anything hanging off the edge, so I do decide to cut the edge off of my clock so it fits where I want it. Just stick the rest of my lace down to my craft paper. Then I can put my word on top of the lace. Now to put my cluster onto my belly band. I just have the cluster next to the belly band so I can see how much of the area I need to cover in glue to fit it on nicely. And then I can just add glue to the top and the bottom of the belly band and adhere that to the front of my bookmark. So you can see you can slip something underneath the belly band. Then I've got a few pieces that I might like to add to the back of the bookmark. Decide to go with the butterfly because it matches the label nicely. But I still want to use that vintage style piece, so I end up finding room for that on the inside just so it doesn't look so plain. I was going to do stamping or stenciling in there, but it's a nice spot for whoever uses the journal that it's in to be able to decorate themselves. So I nearly forgot that I want to make a little slip-on closure for this, something I don't do very often at all. I thought I would give it a go, so I'm using a scrap of my craft paper there. Just measuring how long I want it to fit around so I can have it nice and loose so I can slip it on and off. And ink around the edges. Just got to double, triple check that it's going to slip in. You definitely don't want to make those things too tight. Then I can glue the edges together. And then I've got that little green strip of writing that was on one of the pages of the digital, and I want to use that to embellish my little strip there. So I cut it where there's a full stop there, so I can cut it and it's almost like halfway, so it works really well. So I can put a piece of it on the front and a piece of it on the back of my little band. and it just adds a really nice finishing touch to the bookmark. So next I want to make just some plainer belly bands here. I had in my mind to make 2 of each thing, but I thought this video would be long enough just doing 1 of each. So again, just sticking it down to the craft paper and then cutting around so that there's a bit of a border. I ink it all up as well. Now I'm just arranging the pieces that I would like to decorate it with. Again, I've got some of my scrap lace there. I go to stick the lace down, then realise I haven't stuck this strip down, so I must do that first. I could have made this a belly band as well, but I've decided not to. So there's another strip that was next to the really thin strip I used on my bookmark. I'm using that one just to put down the side of the biggest strip there. A bit of extra embellishment. Then just trying different laces and moving them around here and there, which I did forever, just to figure out what I want to use. And then again I decide to rip out some more of the craft paper because it's all sort of dark browns and that so far. This sort of does add that nice contrast underneath, just peeking out a little bit. And I found that little strip of lace and I really like it, so I decided to use that. But it is quite bright, so I ink it up a little bit, chop it down. So now I can stick my lace down. My little number label I put on top of that. So once I'm happy with my placement, I can start layering everything up. I love that squirrel. They're so cute. I wish we had them here in South Australia. We have possums, but they're not quite as cute. Then I can add my lace piece. Then I decide to grab one of the butterflies that I've fussy cut. I did leave some of the cream edge on it, so I just inked around that to darken it a bit. And I stick my squirrel down. The words I was going to put on that piece, but I decided that it was a bit blank up the top and I couldn't find anything else that I wanted up there, so I thought I will just cut the words down and then put them up the top there to fill in the space. I still think though that it needs something else, so I find the little offcut of my lace, which isn't quite the length to go across, but I still really like the way it looks, so I decide to put that on as well. So here are my two makes with the freebie kit from Whichcraft Do You Do. I had so much fun doing that, but it did take me forever. I was meant to do 2 of each thing, but I have so many other projects that I'm meant to be doing. I thought I'd better stop here. Anyway, these are great. These will probably go into an ideas book for myself, so I can make some more in the future when I do have time. But I absolutely love the way these have turned out. So this is my belly band. You could, of course, sew around it, which would be nice, but I quite like them without the sewing. Ended up using the end of my lace just up here, and I like that. I like using up bits that are on my desk if I can. So this, of course, will be stuck or sewn to a page, top and bottom, so I can slip things behind it. You could as well use it as a singular bookmark if you wanted to, but I made it for a belly band, and I will love using that. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful freebies. I made the little wrap around with my craft paper here and added some of the digitals, so that will hold it together if I stick things in it and it gets a bit bulky. So you can just slip that off, and then it's a belly band behind this piece here, so we can slip something in there if we want to. Then you can open it up and write on the inside, and then the back is decorated. You could add more there too. Probably would add a bit of writing space there. I think writing space is very important for journals, so I like to leave a fair bit of it. So that was heaps of fun. Thank you to the lovely ladies at Whichcraft Do You Do. Shout out to Renee, who does the designs. Absolutely beautiful, and I love them. They're just different, which is really cool. So lots and lots of fun. So links are down below to the Facebook group as well as Whichcraft Do You Do's shop in case you are interested in having a play with the freebie yourself. Do take care of yourselves, be good, and I will see you again soon. Bye.